I am starting it. I'll let you.
All right, so where you want to go?
Well, let's start off the bat. I'm going to get, hold on. Just go through a few of these things. John Stockton getting banned, Gonzaga. Just going to hit a few little shots here of the opening thing. The 8.5 thousand troops that just went on high
All right,
preparedness.
we're live, and we got 20 seconds.
Hey, welcome social media. We got about 15 seconds before we go live on radio here at KXEX 1550, the best talking town. Hang right in there.
From NFL quarterback to Hollywood to the mayor's office, and now behind the mic at KXEX, this is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody's grabbing out there. Nobody.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable. We are live. We are live. Thank
On the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
And welcome to Alan Autry, No Retreat. I'm old Alan Autry, and as always, honored and humbled to have you with us today. And we're very, very fortunate to have with us Guillermo Marino. Welcome, Guillermo.
Good afternoon.
And as they say in the media world, we got a busy, busy news day. Let's rattle off a few things before we talk about. Woo, did you see that game last night?
Oh man!
Holy Toledo!
You know, I don't even have a. How does this saying go? I don't even have a dog in the hunt or the dog in the race.
You wouldn't even have to be a football fan to appreciate that last night. We're talking about the Bills-Chiefs game, which brought me out of complete depression after the Packers lost an ugly, ugly game. And nobody mourns and gets down in the dumps more than Packer fans. You Raider fans think you lost, you get down. Oh, Niner fans, you get down. Not like a Packer fan. We seek immediate help, clinical, psychological help when the Packers lost, especially the way they lost.
You mentioned Raider fans. I think they want to go shank people after they lose.
Now, you're worried about saying stuff on the air before the show. He said, is this mic on? China's going to be listening.
Yeah, I don't want that to be out there.
Yeah, you've been one to watch what you say. Yeah, exactly. Happen to agree with you, though, on that one. But, hey, we got some news we got to get at the top of this show. We're going to get into the sports in the second hour because I tell you, we're so proud of the Fireball Flash, the Fireball phenom, Josh Allen. Gosh, he did us proud last night in that game. But anyway, we were excited to get to that. But we got to talk about the serious stuff. That's fun stuff. There's really not anything serious about a football game. Let's face it, I get excited more than I should. When Michigan State plays, you should see Guillermo. He gets more excited than anybody. You know what I mean. We love our sports teams, but in the whole scheme of things, they're not important. They're fun to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. And, you know, I was going to name this show Football Scripts and Politics instead of No Retreat. But I went to No Retreat because we got a lot of stuff coming at us in this country and a movement to take down, tear down, and build back better. Why do you want to build back better? The greatest system for freedom that lifted more people out of poverty in the history of any other system, flaws included, absolutely. We always want to get better. But I'm just just astonished that people think you want to wreck this thing called United States of America, and the liberties and freedoms that been passed on to us, and we want to destroy them and build back better with a Marxist regime. Come on. But let's go with Guillermo. I want your thoughts on this because I'm getting a little nervous about this. Something
You should.
Something that I thought was out of the realm of even consideration, and that is war with a nuclear power. In particular, a nuclear power that has more nuclear weapons than we do by far. And I'm talking about this situation developing in the Ukraine. We just got word here, breaking news, that instead of the 5,000 troops that have been put on high alert to go and show Putin a show of force, who himself has put 120,000 troops on the Ukrainian border and is continuing now to put ships and other things in place. Now, is this a show of force trying to intimidate Zelensky over there to Ukraine and it's an empty threat? Or is this another Crimea? What we do know is today that 5,000 American troops on heightened alert, Guillermo, has gone up to 8.5 thousand troops, on top of certain NATO countries are starting to send ships and other equipment of war, if you will, to that border. What's your take on this? Should we, I guess it's a really stupid question, but again, this situation is so crazy. How worried should we be in your mind?
Very worried. In tennis, because I'm a big tennis player, we call this an unforced error. We're at this pivotal moment because Joe Biden screwed up last week. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. He showed our cards. Putin, it's like a poker game, right? You just don't know. He showed our cards too early. He pretty much reassured Putin, hey, this is about as far as you can get. This is about as far as you can get. And man, he just needed a little bit. He showed our cards too early. Putin now is pretty much saying, oh, well, you know what? Well, let me show you a little of mine. Has increased his presence. And now you have a situation that we didn't need to be here. And again, this is an unforced error on the part of Joe Biden. And he's showing that American leadership is weak. Putin sees it. That's why he's doing what he's doing.
And this is why I don't think Biden will make it to the midterms. This is inexplicable. Here's a man who has been in Congress for 50 years. Yeah. He knows that words mean things. He was the head of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He knows that when you send a message such as this, how dictators and people around the world can come to their own conclusions. People don't speak Bidenese. We're having trouble understanding here in America what Biden means. He does these long and rambling dissertations, stream of consciousness things that you get away with on the floor of the Senate because, you're listening there. And
you're watching C-SPAN 8
right
when he's doing this.
But you do it as president, and you have the entire freaking world hanging on every single word. And when you say something, I remember I was sitting there listening to the whole thing. It's one of the few times I watched it live. I usually will get the highlights of a press conference. This one I felt was so important. Sit back and listen to the whole thing. And when he said there could be an acceptance of a minor incursion, do you know that's what the Nazis called the first step inside Poland?
Didn't know that. Wow.
Was a minor incursion. That's what he was telling Neville Chamberlain. Don't worry, that priest read your sign that I'm going to honor it. We're just doing a little minor incursion. We're not invading. A minor incursion. So my question is, what is the definition of minor incursion to our president? And what is a minor incursion to Putin, who believes that the Ukraine still belongs to the Russia? Now hold on to your hats. I'm not saying I agree with them, but there is historical spins that you don't have to spin too far to back up that assertion that Ukraine is a part of Russia. You have a great percentage of Ukrainians that are fighting, the rebels that are fighting Zelensky and his group there, that believe. I just think I'm just astounded that he would use that kind of language. What's your thoughts?
Well, the Biden administration and their foreign policy so far, all we got to do is look back and see where he's at and where he's been with his foreign policy. His foreign policy has very much been, kind of like the scales of justice. He's pretty much allowing Americans in our world, our world placement and where we stand with regards to just our place globally. He's willing to allow us to take a hit. Okay, so he's doing this balancing. You saw him do this in Afghanistan, which directly affected us. Now you're seeing him do this in Ukraine again. So whereas another president, and I hate to bring up Trump because he's not there anymore. Trump, you had this whole balance where he was like, no, it's America first, America always. You're not going to do that. The Biden administration is coming in saying, well, minor, he's there already. It's just a minor incursion. That's okay. So I feel like when and I think that's what they're doing. Essentially, they're weighing it. He's there. His entire foreign policy mantra has been, Americans are going to take the hit, right? We're going to take the hit. We're going to take the hit. And I think that's what he's doing with Ukraine, is saying, look, you know what? Let's go to pull out. We're going to take the hit. But if it's only minor, so at the end of the day, just a little minor incursion, not taking over the whole country. It's just minor. At the end of the day, I think this is the balancing act that they have, because this is the position they put themselves in. That's why minor. That's what minor means to him, and we all know what minor means to Putin.
Exactly. Minor incursion means Ukraine today, Poland tomorrow.
Yeah.
But but they have a better case for the Ukraine. But you bring up a good point when you bring up Afghanistan, because when you saw how we pulled out, and you saw how the Taliban, well, actually it was a surrender, wasn't really a withdrawal, and you see how the Taliban conducted itself, totally got aggressive, wanted to humiliate the United States every way they could. It was basically a surrender. But when you look at 13 Americans blown up, and our response was to go send a drone after some charity workers in a truck and blow 10 innocent people up, including 5 children, and say, okay, that's a mistake. It's a horrible mistake. But you don't follow up that and get some real Al-Qaeda flesh for blowing up 13. It doesn't send a message that's acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a minor incursion, if you will. It's a minor that will accept that. So that is the premise, I think, that anybody would draw that Putin is looking at. And I fully believe, as this thing unfolds and how more dangerous it's getting by the moment, that don't kid yourself, folks. This little détente that Putin had with Xi Jinping not too long ago, got together, came out, and said, we're closer now than we've ever been before. Don't kid yourself for a second that they didn't talk about Ukraine and Taiwan. You have my back on Ukraine. We'll have your back on Taiwan.
Yep.
It's sometimes you can take circumstantial evidence and convict people if it's strong enough.
Way to bring it full circle, yeah.
And that's what we're looking at. And then, Guillermo, you talk about a lot on your show. I've heard you before I even came on here as part of the team. This is why, as a president of the United States, the leader of the free world, which is always under attack by these dictators, they want us to go away. Liberty and free. Why? Because it's easier to govern and rule obedient people. They don't want freedom. They want to go away so the elite can rule. That's just the hard, cold facts. And when you hear the term, you have to have peace through strength. Ronald Reagan kind of coined that phrase. But presidents, every effective president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Abe Lincoln during the Civil War, had to seek the peace through strength. Okay? That's why the only way that works with these dictatorships, these folks, these authoritarian regimes. So the flip side is, if you try to have peace through weakness, this is what you get. It is a more dangerous world when you won't do anything to stand up to these despots. And as you said, when you show your hand and you show that you're going to be weak, you may be the weakest president on the face of the earth that we've ever had. But if you put forth the mirage that you're not. You don't show your hand. You just don't do that. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about these football games. We're going to change gears a little bit here, and it's boy, do we need a little relief from all this stuff going on. This is Alan Autry, No Retreat. We'll come right back and talk about this tremendous playoff game and some of the other stories coming out of the sports world. Very, very interesting. This is Alan Autry, No Retreat. Don't you go away. I'll come and get you.
So I thought I'd put it in the words of this song.
We have phone call. It's up on the screen.
Yeah, we're going to do. I told Laura that we're going to schedule her for a segment this week. Okay, because I got Guillermo here, but if she wants, because I wanted her to get her full deal out, and it takes about 10, 15 minutes. Valuable stuff there. So I was thinking about Thursday having her on there for the segment, for a 15-minute segment that we can promo. But we got a pretty. If she wants to say come, if she can keep it like a couple of minutes, love to have her on. See if she can do that. She can keep a couple of minutes, but then I want to have her back on for a full segment here as soon as we're able to schedule it.
All right, let me talk to her.
Yeah, I love Laura. She's just, I don't hate cutting her short. But she always has so much information.
Yeah.
This lady's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've heard her. She's fantastic.
We'll get to that. Sportsman, we'll get to your housing deal. That's pretty interesting stuff there.
Well, it's more of I want to know your thoughts because it's a lot of money.
Well, I'm in general.
Yeah, she said that she'll keep it short.
Okay. We'll take that call then. I'm very, very suspicious of purchases of city-owned things. I think what can be outsourced should be outsourced. Now, you don't want to outsource your police department, your fire department.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, there's some lot. But,
Makes
parks,
sense.
I've been a big advocate for outsourcing parks. I think private nonprofits, private groups would take much better care, hire the security, contract with the city for police out there. Let them run
Good
that.
point. Be cheaper too. Wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think one of the best things Ashley Swearingen did was outsource the solid waste. Yeah, I tried to do that, and we were getting there, but I got termed out, and she went ahead and finished the job. Happy that she did. So I don't know. What's that?
1 minute.
Okay.
See, Michael.
So just owning so they got the money. What was the source of the money? The state, correct?
It doesn't say, and it's just an agenda item, but I would assume that's where they're getting the money from, the state. Yeah. It just seems like a patch, man.
Well, yeah. HB's just announced they got $65 million, and these things. They used to flash all this money in front of mayors, still do. And what was really bad is when you had these unfunded mandates that would come down. You have to do this, but we're not going to give you any more tax dollars to do them.
Yeah.
But kissing cousins to that is, hey, here's $25 million. I sent a lot of grants back because there was nothing sustainable afterwards. I took the cops grants because they give you 3 years, they pay for them. But afterward, you got to find a way to pay for them.
10 seconds.
That's public safety. I said, okay, I'll take 3 years because we got to hire them anyway.
All right, 30 seconds.
Your position.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now, 559-899-1550.
And welcome back to the show. We were going to go to the big football playoff game. If you saw that last night, I think it's the best playoff game I've ever seen in my life. But before that, we've got our caller, Laura Fisher, and she wants to talk a little bit about the Ukraine and Russia. And we're going to have Laura on for a full segment here this week. We're just finding a place to slot it in. But she's going to give us her thoughts in a couple of minutes here. Laura, you there?
I'm here.
All right. Fire away, girl. What's your take on this Ukraine-Russia thing?
First of all, Navalny, who was Putin's opposition, who is now sitting in a Moscow prison, he's been warning about this for a year. He has been screaming about this for a year, that this was going to happen.
Wasn't that the one that got poisoned, Navalny?
Yes.
He was the one that got poisoned mysteriously, right?
Correct.
It just happens to be one of the techniques that the Russians have used for decades. Poison.
Well, that and,
okay.
43 journalists who spoke out against Putin are dead,
right.
and
yeah.
Lord knows how many other people. But
coincidence.
the thing is that
Go ahead.
Pretty much.
so many world leaders have underestimated Putin entirely too long. They've treated him as a regional player, and he's not. This guy is a malignant, narcissistic, sociopathic genius who got baked in a KGB oven for 20 years.
I like it.
That's a fact. And this guy is been so underestimated by all of the last 4 of our administrations have underestimated him. The only reason that he didn't pull this with Trump is because I think that Trump was a little too hard for him to read, and he couldn't pinpoint his weaknesses that he could exploit. So he waited for Biden. If they don't think that this guy doesn't sit around and study these world leaders, he does. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to get Ukraine one way or another.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think this man Putin has visions of restoring the old Soviet Union? All of it?
Yes, that is exactly what Navalny said. He wants the entire Eastern Bloc back.
Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, all of them.
Yes.
Well, he's kind of getting long in the tooth there. I don't know if that listen, I'm not trying to be an apologist for Vladimir Putin, but he seems to have been rather restrained, if that's his goal, over the last decade or so. Has he not, Laura, to a certain degree?
The way he does it, he doesn't have to do it all by force. Look at Belarus.
Yeah.
You have to understand, Alan, he's using tactics that, we'll just take Ukraine. This big surprise that they came out with the UK intelligence claiming, he's going to install a puppet government. Install one. About a third of the Ukrainian government is pro-Russia and has been for the last several years. Pick up a Ukrainian newspaper. It's that simple. 1/3 of the people that live in Ukraine are pro-Russia because of his misinformation that they put out, all the propaganda that they put out, and everything else that he does.
Well, could it also be? Let me just ask this. Let me just ask this for thought. I get it. Putin is no angel. I agree with you 100%. And he may be kissing cousins to the devil. I don't know. But do you think folks in the Ukraine also are figuring in, some of them, how crooked and corrupt that the Ukraine is? I mean, it's been
the Ukraine, Russia. I mean, Russia is horribly corrupt. It's horribly corrupt, as is Ukraine. Most of the oligarchs who were in Ukraine have run back to Russia because they can keep on doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it all, and when they talk about sanctions, that's a joke, because here's the hard, cold reality. Putin does not care about the people of Russia. As long as Putin's money's safe, Putin's cool with it. Mm-hmm. He is the second wealthiest world leader behind MBS.
Do you think? Let me ask you.
Provide them the money.
Let me ask you this: do you think that NATO would ever let the Ukraine into the club, being as corrupt as they are?
I'm not sure about this, but that's part of Putin's strategy. What he's doing right now, it's not just about Ukraine.
Well, here's my point. Here's what I'm trying to get at. Is it worth 8.5 thousand troops getting ready to go over there to defend the Ukraine if they're never going to be into NATO? Why are we picking out Ukraine just because we don't like Putin? I mean, what's the long game? Putin's long game we just talked about. Rebuild the Soviet Union. Build back better the Soviet Union, if you will. Well, and that's what our analysis. What is the end game for NATO and America in this? What do you do with the Ukraine? If you don't, it's like, the reason I ask this, I'm an old dude, and this is smelling an awful lot like Vietnam to me. These were people, and I was on the side of the American government. Let's go stop communism. And I had friends telling me, well, Carlos back then, is still Carlos now, but they'd say, what do we want? Why is Vietnam such a strategic asset for the United States of America? And I never got a real clear answer other than stop communism. When you look back and analyze it, you see a lot of people, especially government defense contractors, got rich. We were never going to really push it through to victory in Vietnam because we were afraid of China coming in. So I had 3 guys off my football team, 3 friends die in Vietnam for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing the same kind of situation, this nebulous, reasons for going over there, Guillermo, folks on Facebook and radio. Folks my age are very sensitive about this. You better have a clear-cut reason why this is in the great interest of the United States, the great interest of not just a side dish that wasn't ordered. What is the compelling reason to get ready to send thousands of our best people that this country's ever produced, our soldiers, over to Ukraine to fight in the winter, 40 below zero, in a long, drawn-out war? People say, well, Alan would never get... Well, they said that about Vietnam, too. And so that's why I'm asking these questions, these very difficult questions, not to defend Putin any more than I would want to defend Ho Chi Minh or Mao Zedong back in the day. I'm concerned about our troops. I don't want to see families, any more Gold Star families, for a war that this country does not have the will to win and have a good reason for getting into. So you see where I'm at on that, Laura? That's why I'm asking these questions. I know Putin is a dastardly dude.
I understand what you're saying. And the thing is, Putin's, his other goal is, it's not just about Ukraine. It's about dividing the United States from NATO, from its allies, because nobody is really completely on the same page in this.
Right. That's what scares me. That's what scares me.
And this has been an ongoing attack that he's been trying to do, and he's succeeding. And again, it's like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. I mean, we have fallen for everything that this guy has done. We have. And when you have a president, I'm sorry, but the first comment I ever made on your show, look at his foreign policy record. It is horrendous.
It is.
Every decision that is ever made has been wrong. Every single one has been wrong.
Through it all, you've remained a real Anthony Blinken fan, haven't you? I'm going to trigger her. I'm going to trigger her.
Don't even.
I'm going to trigger you. Well, Laura, listen, we've got to go right now. But listen, we're going to schedule a whole segment because I know I read your email. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, this young lady, I tell you, she's something special. Her research, it's not based on, sure, she gets emotional. We all do because we love America. But she does this research, and she looks at the facts wherever they may lead. And we're just here. I'm just honored to have you as part of this show, Laura. You're a great American, and we want to schedule it. We're going to take a break now and let you go, but we're going to schedule it this week, folks, and let her share with you what she shared with me in her email. It's absolutely riveting, the facts, and it leads somewhere that it's very, very, very interesting.
Day drinking, Alan, is what it's going to do.
Yeah. All right, dear. Well, we're going to talk about it later. We got to take a break. Thanks for calling in, and can't wait to visit with you some more, Laura. God bless you. This is Alan Autry, No Retreat. We're going to come back, and I promise we're going to talk about the Fireball Flash. Who's that? The Fireball Phenom. Who's that? Well, you know who that is. That's Josh Allen out of Fireball, baby.
Yep.
He made us proud last night. So we got 2 of them, Derek Carr and Josh Allen. 2 Valley boys just kicking it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. This is Alan Autry, No Retreat with Guillermo Moreno. We'll return.
Did you see Michael Phelps said that transgender athletes in swimming is like doping?
Well, welcome to cancellation, Michael.
I was like, well,
come into the cancellation waters.
I mean, if the girls were to dope, I still don't think they'd catch the dude.
No, it's. I understand what he's saying. We got to talk to the radio folks about that. Oh my!
When I read that, I
but it's a big come on.
You heard the news about? I think it was a transgender. That it was beating records on.
That's
swimming.
this one. That's this one.
That's
and she only got beat by another transgender.
No way.
No, I didn't see that.
Shut the front door. Great.
Now,
So these no, we have the best transgender. No, we have the best transgender.
Why don't they just have a transgender category? Have a transgender Olympics. Have it, but don't get rid of women. This is going to destroy women's sports. I tell you, folks that were behind Title IX, a lot of feminists out there, they're not liking what's going on.
But if you do that, then the left is going to complain that they're not. Why are you putting them in another category?
Since when did you worry about the left?
No, I'm just.
Since when did
never?
You? Okay. What's the point?
But you know what they're going to say. That's true. All right, let's
you know who you have on your side right now? Bill Maher. See the show the other night?
Never mind.
Bill Maher came out and said, "Oh, he's all over this woke left stuff. He is all over." And this podcast gal, Barbie Weiss or something, it should get real popular. Far left, well, obviously not far left, because she's saying, "Listen, get rid of these masks. This is too much. This COVID hysteria is crazy." And Maher took him on. So and I think his position is the same thing. Same as yours. If you're trans, you want to have an Olympics for that, for the trans community, by all means, put it together. But don't put, because when you don't transition to muscularity.
I don't know.
You don't.
He did 2 years of transitioning in therapy.
Yes, but you still have the muscularity of the male. You might be able to reduce it with some more estrogen. And listen to me. About the testosterone.
You're a doctor.
I'm trying to be Fauci.
Yeah, you're a doctor.
Talking about things I know nothing about. I know nothing about
just follow the science. Estrogen. Just pump them up with estrogen. Be in the pool crying right before the race.
That's the problem with America. Too much estrogen.
Alan?
Too much dang estrogen.
That's right.
Well, yes, sir.
We have another caller.
Debbie from Cincinnati. Okay, we'll get
Cincinnati.
Tell her to hang on there. That we're going to open it up with a few comments, a little give and takes there. Then we'll bring Debbie in.
I'm sure Debbie's happy.
Oh yeah, Cincinnati. Woo.
Hey, she said that she's the only one that's not a fan.
Oh,
so she has her comments about it.
About
all right,
a fan of who? Me?
That she's from Cincinnati, but she's
not a fan of Cincinnati.
She's not a fan. Oh gosh, I thought you said we're not a fan of me, Debbie.
Right, we got 10 seconds.
I said, did the estrogen comment run you off? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. More estrogen. Oh.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
Oh, man. Welcome back to Alan Autry. No treatment. So, it's been a long time since we got that tickle. I won't go into what about, other than I did a 180 quicker than Stephen Cloud did on his Beijing Biden. Beijing Biden. Till he gets a movie.
Oh my God!
Please tell China to get rid of the program. China's gonna come and get me.
I have no comment. No comment.
We're making comments about too much estrogen. Oh, stop me. We're not going to go in. Okay, let's talk about, because we got a caller on the line, Debbie, and we went from Cincinnati, and they have a reason to be happy there.
Yeah.
The Cincinnati Bengals making it there.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot more playoff games than you because I'm older than you.
Yes.
I'm an old dude.
Not that you're an old dude, but you're older.
I'm an old dude. It's all right. Since when are you going to be respectful? You're going to suddenly change now. No, but Guillermo, I have never, and I've been searching my memory banks. A lot of exciting playoff games. But the one last night, Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs, that was unbelievable. And had Al Michaels in our promo. You have Al Michaels. When you hear, do you believe in miracles? Yes, for a lot of you youngsters out there. That's the 76 Olympics with our Olympic team. A bunch of little college kids beat the dreaded Soviet Union, the best hockey team in the world, who destroyed NHL teams. This was the best hockey team in the world, and our little college kids, led by Michael Arizoni, I think his name, but and Jim Craig, the goaltender, beat them, and that's what he says, do you believe in miracles? But Al Michaels, I believe, was broadcasting last night, wasn't he? And that show, I think he was in there. I think it was Al.
I don't remember. I was so nervous.
Anyway, what a game, huh?
What a game, and what a great moment for just America. We weren't worried about politics. We weren't worried about any of that. We were watching two great athletes just go at it with some pigskin. And this is just, I mean, this is what it's about. I loved it. And the NFL has been a little sketchy the last couple of years politically. So it was just nice to watch a good game, focus on the game, focus on the fundamentals. This is what happens in America. You work hard. It doesn't matter what town you are from. You could be from, the smallest town in America. And damn it, if you got a dream and you work hard, you could be, you could be there.
That's right.
That's what it's about.
You hit it right. Just forgetting all your problems, watching a great game, letting everything loose, and thinking about that $1,000 you got over the over-under. Then you're cussing at the TV set. That's not how to take a great experience. But gambling's just taking over this thing.
Oh yeah, well,
DraftKings, this and that. I mean, come on. I mean, I like to make a bet every now and then. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do, but it really changes the game for me.
Did you bet for Aaron?
I don't bet. I didn't. Oh, that's another. We're going to talk about that game. He kind of. I don't think he'll be back next year. But Josh Allen, man, the Fireball Flash, the Fireball Phenom. For folks that are not here, for Debbie in Cincinnati, why we're so excited about this is Josh grew up in a little town, probably about 5,000 people, maybe.
Yeah.
In Fireball, a little bit bigger than Riverdale, where I spent a lot of my childhood. And playing for Fireball out there, small little farming town. He grew up working the fields there, and his mom owned the farmer's daughter restaurant out there. Had the privilege of meeting his mother and Josh there. Had lunch with Marvin Myers, a good friend, who rest in peace, Marvin, out there in Fireball. And what a fine young man, respectful young man. And isn't it great to see a kid, because he didn't get any scholarship offers out of high school.
I didn't know that. No way. Not even Fresno State.
When you're in one of those little schools, it's really hard. They think you don't play against the toughest competition. Yeah. You don't. He just got lost, so he went to Reedley. And I saw the kid play in high school against Riverdale. He looked like a beanpole. He was 6'3",
He's
6'4".
huge.
I saw him at Reedley his freshman year. He put on about 40 pounds of muscle. This kid was a specimen. Played 1 year at Reedley, got picked up by Wyoming, played 2 seasons there. He had a season.
I remember that.
And I remember thinking, man, this kid is coming out too early. He just does not have the experience. And I started drawing on my own experience. I was very inexperienced to be drafted by the Packers and needed more games under my belt. But this kid is something special. He really struggled his first season, took a lot of trash talking, Guillermo. I mean, I remember one very renowned defensive back, I forget his name right now. It might have been Josh Norman, but I want to tag for sure if it was Josh, because I don't want to, give him credit for this. He didn't say it, but it was a top corner, said he's trash. Josh Allen is trash. Well, trash is just burning you corners like toast.
Yeah.
Wasn't he great last night?
He was great. And we got to talk about the ending and the rules, Alan, because he's such a great, he's not feeling too great today. And he's not feeling too great today because of the overtime rules. And that's it. I'm not a big football guy. I'm a big college football guy. And the rules are different for OT.
Right.
I'm a big college football guy. Not necessarily NFL. I'll watch it, but it's just heartbreaking. Should it have ended that way? Should the rules be changed?
No, I don't think it should be that way, especially a playoff game. During the season, I can see the rules staying the way they are. But when you get in the playoffs, you don't have it decided by a coin toss.
Yeah.
Because that's just luck. That's not skill. You should give the team a shot. What we're talking about, folks, if you don't know the rules, they went into overtime, and the Chiefs won the toss. The rules are that each team will get a possession, except if the team that wins the toss scores a touchdown, or the other team intercepts and runs it back for a touchdown. If it gets a field goal, the other team gets a chance. Okay, and it goes on like that. But the Chiefs got it, marched down, and Pat Mahomes hit Travis Kelce there with a beautiful pass, beautiful catch. But I agree with you that Josh should have had a chance to come back and extend that game. So why wouldn't you not change it? I think they might change it for the playoffs.
You have to. You got to change it because I mean, this is one of those. It's one of those things where not everyone's perfect. You don't think about all the possible scenarios, and I think this time around they're going to say, we got to look at this rule over the summer when they get together, and I think there's going to be an adjustment. There has to be an adjustment.
Right. You want to see a game like that determined on the field.
Yeah.
and in a fair way.
Yeah.
Did you get equal possessions, especially in overtime? And, I think my gut feeling is they will get on. Now, the other game, which was really...
can I tell you what
keep going.
Can I tell you what rule I want? So listen, they're bringing a little soccer here, all right? So this is what they should do. If they're tied, give them another possession. But if it's still tied after that, let's just say Josh Allen got it. He did the same thing, man, and you're tied still. I think at that point in time, you go to field goal kicks, and you get listen to me. You get 5 of them. All right, just like soccer. Is that how many you get in soccer? Penalty kick. You get 5, and you start on the 25. And you just keep going back and back. 25-yard line, 35-yard line, 45-yard line. You know what? Come on. Imagine that's a game.
Oh,
that's skill.
Gosh.
Come on.
I can't believe.
Come on.
And Jose's in there nodding with him, folks.
Yeah.
You want the game. You have these physical specimens given their body that's been working on lifting weights and dedicating hours away from their family to stay in shape to play the game. And you want a little computer nerd looking dude coming out, kicking a field goal to determine who wins the game.
If it's you're in,
you want to put your destiny in the hands of a little field goal kicker.
Absolutely, because listen to me. If both of them have possessions, right, and you get one possession each, and if it's still tie, you got to listen. These guys are tired. They can get injured. Leave it up to the kicker. Come on, the kicker goes out there and plays maybe like a whole minute.
You were on the right track.
I'm telling you.
But I deviate, oh wise and wondrous one. I deviate on that because I stay with the college thing.
Then later they're gonna start drafting soccer players.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Oh God, that's
messy as the
you
kicker.
have brought up some great things on your shows, and I have given you kudos on your insights on things. I have been gushing in my praise for you, but this is probably the stupidest, most ignorant suggestion in sports I've ever heard.
Come on.
Now, but State, you were onto something. It's my own personal opinion. I still love you. I still think you're a savant. But why not stay with your college analogy? You have so many overtimes, what have you. Then put it on the 2-yard line.
Okay.
And you get one play. If you get it in, then the other team comes on there and they get one play. But you have the guys on the field snarling, hitting each other, applying their skills.
You still have it.
Not whether the left tackle misses his block and can come in like the guy did with the Packers, like the guy from the 49ers who's 6'7", puts up a big claw and blocks a field goal.
It's still skill. You're still having those guys go.
I'm giving the subject way more time.
You still have those guys going at it.
Are you really serious?
I'm dead serious. Come on. You know the excitement.
You're serious about this whole thing?
You know the excitement on this?
You are. Yes, you are.
Oh, man. You know the excitement? This would be great for the NFL.
Let's have Debbie come in here. Debbie, we've had on Debbie from Cincinnati. Debbie, are you still there? She's so patient. She's got the patience of Job. She's still there. Are you there, Debbie?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Please, what do you think? Have you been listening to this? That you should have a change in the overtime rules to where it's if it gets like it was last night, that it's decided by field goals, moving it back like
10 yards, yeah.
As the way to decide a playoff game. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't really have any thoughts on that. I just know football, when there's 3 seconds left in the game, it takes an hour and a half to play it.
Real football fan.
And seriously, come on. I'm from Cincinnati, and you know what's going on here right now.
What's happening now? They got to be tearing that city apart in a good way, right? Joe Burrow.
The Bengals are just.
Restaurants are serving Burrow pancakes and the whole. Well, you don't sound too enthused. What's going on?
I'm not.
Were you a Tennessee Titan fan?
I'm not a fan, period.
You're not a football fan?
Everything here is just going nuts. I guess it's because they haven't done anything for years. But the most moronic thing that I have seen this past weekend is I've got friends who've had season tickets to the Bengal games as long as I can remember.
Were they for $29 before this happened?
And last year they couldn't give them away.
Yeah.
And these same people got in a van and drove to Tennessee to watch the Bengals in a TV in a bar down there because they didn't have seats to go to that game. Now, how stupid is that? I mean,
we're hearing from you a perspective that we need to hear more often in this football crazy world. Not everyone is, and you know what she's making me think now? Yeah, Debbie, I want to thank you for this because this is the best therapy I've gotten because as a former Green Bay Packer, I'm a Packer for life, love them so much, and nobody mourns after a loss more than Packer fans. We were talking to Guillermo during the break. 49er fans, you think you get down to Raider fans? No, come on. Steeler fans, okay, I get it. You get down for a few days, then you go get drunk and you're on to the Pittsburgh Pirates playing.
There you go.
Me, the Packers, and Packer fans know we need therapy after a loss, especially this loss. So you've kind of put it in perspective. And I'm
serious. I mean, I'm
what
serious.
really went on.
Not everybody likes everything. I mean, I'm a big race car fan. I drag race. I used to love NASCAR till they made it stupid. But I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. These same people, like I said, drove to Tennessee to watch it on a TV in a bar.
Well, Debbie, I want to tell you, you've given us a lot to think about. You've personally helped me put this loss last Saturday with the Packers in the proper perspective, and I appreciate that. Debbie. Yeah,
I mean, the Bengals are one game away from going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, gosh, they go to the Super Bowl. You're going to move out of Cincinnati.
You're not going to be able to sleep.
I'm going to have to go to Hazard, Kentucky for a while. I guess I don't know, but I'm going to date myself here. This is how much football I know, and as much football as.
Boomer Esiason?
I'm dating myself because I used to think Joe Namath was cute.
Oh, he was a good-looking guy. I know Joe. Joe's a personal friend of mine. He's a great guy, by the way. You'd really like Joe. Very humble.
I didn't follow him in games. I used to follow him on all the stupid stuff that he was doing because I thought he was cute.
Oh, he had that hair coming out of his helmet, those white shoes. Every quarterback back then wanted to grow their hair.
I really feel like an outcast because I can't get all excited about it. And Who Day stuff that they say all the time is the most moronic thing I've ever heard.
Well, listen.
And you can't.
I think you're being a Debbie Downer, Debbie.
Well, she's being Debbie honest.
She's Debbie honest.
Debbie,
I love it.
We appreciate you, darling. Hey, listen, if they get to the Super Bowl, you got to promise to call back. Because
I can't wait. I wanted to hear the weather forecast last night, and all it was on the news was Bengals and COVID.
Okay. Thank you, Debbie. God bless you.
I love Debbie. That's awesome.
Boy, I tell you, what a different perspective. I love it. Hey, listen, let's move a step to the games coming up. Okay, it's in the past.
Hold on, I want to talk about the Packers.
Huh?
Let's do some therapy
I was
here.
Just starting to feel better. Go ahead. No, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is coming back. He's not talking like a man coming back. You don't throw the special teams under the bus in a press conference and come back.
Okay. Was it colder than the game you played?
I don't know. I played.
Or do you still hold the record?
Well, no. The first game I started against the Minnesota Vikings when Lynn Dickey went down was the second coldest game in NFL history. They canceled the halftime show, folks. The first game I ever started in the NFL because the instruments were frozen.
No way.
Yes. And I'll never forget it because it's the game Steve Odom caught his butt on fire. We had these big heaters back then that blew out this fire, and you would go up and you wanted to get a prime spot if you were playing by that heater. So I'm off talking to Coach Starr, and out of the corner of my eye, I look over and I see Odom, and there's smoke coming up, and Starr's looking at me because we're getting the next play coming in, and I'm distracted during a timeout. And he goes, "Carlos, what's wrong?" I said, "Coach, I think Odom's butt's on fire." And he looked over and he goes, "Oh, whatever." I won't say the word. He wasn't a cusser though. and I said, and he said, "Somebody over there get Odom." And he didn't know because his butt was frozen. It had fallen some water, so he had a frozen butt, but it was on fire. And he had like second, third degree burns on his wrist. That's how cold it was. His butt caught on fire and he didn't even know it.
Is that why the Packers lost yesterday?
No, it's not. They both teams had to play in that cold. I think they scored way too easily. Because it's a phenomena in pro football. It's analogous to baseball in this respect. There's a adage. There is a belief that if you strike out the first batter as a pitcher, you're going to lose the game. And it's kind of uncanny.
No way.
It's uncanny how that works. When you strike out, it's bad luck. Now, Dizzy Dean says you can't strike them all out unless you strike the first one out. So he had a good point there. But there's also in National Football, when you score too easily the first time you get the ball and you just go down like the Packers did, something happens, and a lot of times that team winds up losing. And when they went down, I hate to say it, I'm going, that was just way too easy for this kind of weather. And it was. The 49ers came to play. It was just one of those quirky things that you got a guy 6'7" that's able to break through the line, stick up that big claw, and that ball's kicked right into that mitt, which is why I don't want games decided by field goal kickers, Guillermo.
No, I think it's great. I think it needs to happen.
And, yeah, it was a big letdown because it was all set up. But I tell you, when sometimes in life when it seems all set up, you just got to watch because that's when you got to really bear down, try even harder. And I don't know if the Packers really – I think maybe they read too much of their clippings. They saw that they had the Niners coming in. The Niners were beat up. They shouldn't have been there to begin with. The Niners know that. And so you're playing a team that was totally stress-free.
Yeah,
no
they got nothing to lose.
And the longer you let a team like that hang around, I remember halfway through the third quarter, no, less than halfway, about 3 minutes in, I knew we were in trouble because you still let them hang around. Then that's when crazy crap happens, and it did. But you know who I'm pulling for? You may not know this. That I also played with the Los Angeles Rams.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I was with the Rams all through preseason, 1978, and had some of my best statistics in preseason in terms of practice stuff. Never got into a game. But George Allen got fired there. He signed me, and see how fate is, how destiny is. If George Allen would have stayed there, he would have kept me. As it was, I got cut. They kept Brian Dowling there. But I was a Ram for a while. And I think the Rams are a very dangerous team. What say you?
I think they are, but at the end of the day, I don't think they're not going to beat Kansas City.
Did they get by the Niners?
No. Yeah, that's true.
You want to bet a little Chipotle on that?
You got it. You got it.
Just straight up. No points, no nothing.
They got nothing to lose. Niners again. The Niners are going to go in there. Nothing to lose. I mean, they're going to play some. It's going to be close.
Did you see that dime that Matthew Stafford threw?
Mm-mm.
Oh, God, to win the game?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yes.
I was just. I'm a Brady fan.
Do you realize the monkey that's off his back now to win that playoff game? So Stafford's going to be the key. I like the Rams have a good chance of going all the way.
No,
I think they have a chance to beat the Chiefs.
No, he should have stayed in Detroit.
Okay, does Cincinnati, Debbie's favorite team, have a chance?
No. I think I think all these Debbie Downers are gonna. I think they're gonna carry the day. They don't have to get too excited. They're not gonna. No.
You think Joe Burrow's Cinderella story ends?
I think it's done. I really do. I think it's done.
You know, I was thinking the other day, people my age and even your age. You know, you grew up in the era of these great quarterbacks: Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees. On these great, and you said, you know, who's going to replace them? My goodness.
Yeah.
You look at the crop that's out there now. You know, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, this Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
On the Chargers.
Yep.
Kyler Murray. You got Joe Burrow. You just go on.
Brady's not done yet.
And
come on, Alan. You know,
think you're playing another year?
I think you will. I think one more. What's this contract? I don't even know.
You're gonna play till that one blitz puts him in the hospital? Because you know what's going to happen.
Why?
That one linebacker's going to come unblocked. Brady's going to be locked in on Gronkowski, hold the ball a half a second too long, and it's going to be, hey, you can send the flowers to room 230 at Tampa General Hospital. That's what's going to happen to Tom Brady. He's going to be 6 years old.
Hey, why quit? I mean, look at you're talking about he's not done yet.
They're like boxers. A boxer's got to know when to go up before they get their brains scrambled.
He's gonna milk that cow until it's dry.
What?
Milk the cow until it's dry.
You know, I like that little cliche. What better one to leave on, folks, than you're gonna milk that cow till it goes dry? You should on certain things. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Guillermo Marino, thank you. Jose Monroy, thank you. God bless you all. Love you all. The good Lord willing, creek don't rise. We're going to do it again tomorrow on Tuesday. Don't forget Guillermo Marino, 4 o'clock today, every day. Bye-bye now.
Who cares about the clouds if we're together?
So you got Rams all the way.
I do. I think the Chiefs, here's why. I think that the Rams defense pose a bigger problem for Mahomes than any other defense in the entire National Football League, for one reason. They got Larry Donald coming up front. Just Hall of Famer, unanimous pick. Very quick, very fast. A lot of people get in the backfield, but they don't have that kind of speed. You've got Von Miller on the edge. They're going to move Von Miller all around, and Von Miller is starting to really be the Von Miller we knew the Denver Broncos. Then you've got Jalen Ramsey starting to get healthy, and you've got some other people on that defense. And then I think you got weapons on the offense with Stafford and these guys, Cooper Kupp, Akers, this running back. I think they're going to have. I think they'll get past the Niners, and they'll have that couple of weeks to get ready. And I don't see the Chiefs' defense. I think it could be another shootout. That's what I'm saying. I think it could be another shootout with the Chiefs. Defensively, I'm concerned about it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I see it. I mean, I think the Chiefs defense didn't do a great job at the whole game. So I could see that. I just don't think they're going to get past the Niners. The Niners have been finding a way, and when you have
it's a dangerous team,
and when you continue to find a way, and you got nothing to lose,
that's a dangerous team.
I'm telling you. And listen,
no, I hear you 100. I said that very thing when they were coming in to play the Packers. Oh, the Packers just going to steamroll.
Yeah.
I said, never underestimate the threat of a team that feels that no pressure's on them.
Yeah.
That they feel lucky to be there.
Yep.
Because they're playing loose as a goose. The Raiders could have won that game, that playoff.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
And you saw they were just loose.
Yeah.
The Niners, they know they shouldn't be here. Garoppolo knows he shouldn't be here. Then you start you start using the word destiny.
Yeah.
And once you have destiny, you start thinking, we're meant to be here.
Yep.
People know we're going to fail, so if we fail, no big deal. And that's a dangerous ass team.
I thought there was destiny for Brady at the end there. I mean, come on. But
the best line I ever heard was from a boxer, and he was like a medium level boxer. But they were interviewing him. I think he was like 24-8. He won the fight. They were interviewing him.
Uh-huh.
He says, "Well, you impressive tonight. Where do you go from here?" He goes, "I'm going on to the championship. I believe it's my destiny." And he's talking about facing this other fighter that's coming up that had a big knockout in his right hand with a lot of power. He goes, "I want to fight this guy Jones, whatever it is, and I want to be there." He says, "And I feel it's my destiny to be champion. It's my destiny. But if I run into that right hand, I might get undestinated."
I like that.
I might get undestinated.
I love it.
Now, do you want to do another show? What do you want to? What are we doing? You want to?
It's up to you.
Is that what you wanted to do?
No. I'm good. I just given that to you just in case. Yeah.
Yeah, I hit that tomorrow.
Okay. Awesome.
So you got what you need today.
I'm good. That was great. We're still on Facebook or no? Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry, Facebook. You got a little insights there. Love you. Appreciate you. I'm going to skedaddle here, but we'll